What's happening, guys? Today is another day on the channel, and what we're going to be installing is a set of Maxpeedingrod coilovers for the Miata right here. And Maxpeedingrod is focused on performance auto parts replacements over decades with more than 4 million customers all over the world, and has abilities to ship almost all orders out within 24 hours, guys. 24 hours. That's really fast. I talked to them last week, and they got these coilovers to me while I was in Connecticut. Didn't even know until I got back. So they are very fast with their shipping. I wanted to get more parts for this thing, but we're going to be working with them a little bit more for stuff like that, and hopefully they can help me out. I got some parts that I want for the 180, and maybe we can work something out with that. So let's go ahead, unbox these things, and then get them onto this car so that we can get this thing all slam boy like the rest of these Miatas outside out here. Look at this thing. This one I lifted yesterday. That one's slammed, and Connor's is absolutely on the ground.
Eric's is the same height.
Eric just has higher side skirts than you.
Yep.
But yeah, this is gonna be sick. Can't wait to be slam boy now. So Tommy's here. How's the body kit?
It's still in the same place. It's on the stand. We worked on it. It's doing good.
Good.
We're advancing like you wanted to, little by little, but we'll have it done through deadlines.
Got it. Got it. So the 180s body kit, we got to get that thing on there, but it's coming along. Let's go ahead and get this Miata going so that we can see how much better this thing is going to handle right now once it gets lowered. I'm actually going to take you guys for a ride in this thing. Obviously, you guys have seen me driving this thing around, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some side to side with Connor in the car, and we're going to see how much it sways back and forth. Put the coilovers in, and then do the same test and see what it feels like afterwards. So, Connor, come help me. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a slalom side to side right here, guys. We're gonna see how bad the car actually sways. So let's get up to a little bit of speed here. Let's get a little bit longer straightaway here. Let's go down the front here. Miatas are pretty balanced to begin with, but obviously you've got a bunch of body roll side to side, so. You can feel it when it's like right now. So with the car up at stock height right now, the back feels like it wants to let loose a little bit right now. But when we put the coilovers on, I bet you this thing's gonna feel planted and it's never gonna wanna go anywhere. So let's go ahead and get these coilovers on. So like I just said, guys, we're gonna unbox these things now. We're gonna see what they're gonna look like. That was a really long pause, but we'll probably cut that down. But let's go ahead, we're gonna open these bad girls up, see what they look like. Should look like just every other coilover, but what color are they? Black? Are they blue? Are they red? Are they yellow? They're red. Check out these bad Larrys. So, got Maxpeedingrod right here. Got your dampening on the top up here. You got your fully adjustable coilover. You got your nice bushings on the bottom down there. They're anodized. Some parts are painted. This is painted. These are anodized. Ready to set up, guys. Got your bump stop up here. Regular coilover. A bolt-on piece, you know. Comes with some instructions here. Got that. And what is this? Oh, can't forget the good old coilover wrenches. Don't lose those, guys. Everybody loses these things. So, but let's go ahead, put this thing in the air. It's gonna be the second time this car has ever been on a lift because we didn't actually put it on a lift when we put the motor in. Just kind of dropped it in, right? Just kind of threw it in. So let's go ahead and get this thing on the lift, and I still got a busted tooth. Probably looks super weird right now, but yeah, let's get the BMW on the lift. So a reason why this thing sounds so whatever is because this thing's been dragging on the ground. So there we go, no more drag. That's cool. But under here, another reason why this car feels so planted is because it actually has upgraded sway bars front and rear. So right now it's at the second stiffest. We could probably adjust it even more for even more stiffness, but we'll adjust that later if we feel like we need to. Another thing that we'll probably have to do is we'll probably have to get new bushings for the whole rear suspension and all that stuff because it's probably gonna feel kind of swayy after this. I also have rear upper control arms that we are gonna put on later on. I have to fix those because those are not right now. I need a break. I vape too much. We're not gonna put those on just yet because I kind of ripped one in half, and we're gonna make it work again. So we're gonna fix those and then we're gonna put those on. But for right now, what we're going to do is we're gonna put these coilovers in, and we're gonna see. Things should be low. Should be low. So that's what I want. I want it to be low, planted, feeling nice, driving nice. Looks like my diff is leaking, so I gotta fix that. But let's go ahead and start tearing into this thing. Okay, so to install the Miata coilover on the front is pretty simple. All you do, disconnect your upper control arm, take the two 12 mils off on the top, take off what looks to be your 19 down here, and the whole thing should slide up and pull out. Because then what you do without disconnecting your upper control arm is you're able to pull the whole suspension out, and the knuckle and everything will kind of fall off, and then you can just take the coilover out. Instead of trying to get a spring compressor in here and compress the spring and then compress the shock and do all this other stuff. Don't touch your LCA, don't need it. Just take off your upper control arm. Tip from the wise. So let's go ahead, keep taking this thing off. Okay, so the front coilovers are all in, they're adjusted, they're tightened. Always check your preload, guys, when you get new coilovers, because you don't know what the factory setting is for how the brand sets it up. Most coilovers come pre-set up, but you could always adjust it to your specific ride setup. Both fronts are on, they're done. Now we're gonna jump onto the back and get that all set up. The back is pretty simple. It's a little bit simpler than the front. On the back here, when you lower this, you could just kind of push this down and it'll slide out to the side. But you have to jump up into here, into the trunk, and you have to take the bolts out through the back here. But I have everything out of here. There's no carpet really in here, so it should be pretty simple. I do have this plate over here, which we got to remove, but it should be pretty simple. And let's get to the back now, guys. Okay, so both rear coilovers are out. We had to loosen our rear sway bar actually to get these two coilovers out, or the stock suspension out, because these were really stiff and they didn't want to move out on us. But do you have the one in your hand? Oh, he's got one. Look at that. Look at that. That's a good picture there. So Connor's got one of the coilovers. We set the preload, we set the ride height. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the coilovers in. So to set preload and ride height on coilovers here, guys, pretty much all you're going to do for ride height, you're going to loosen up the collar that is for the actual shock valve body to go into the bottom cup, and you're going to lower it by turning the bottom cup up. So to set preload though, you're going to loosen both collars until the spring is pretty loose. You're going to tighten the bottom collar that touches the spring back up until it's taut, not tight, but taut, so you can still move the spring around a little bit. You're going to put a center mark right here. Then you're going to do as many revolutions as you want. You can do it 17 revolutions, and you're probably not going to be able to even turn it at 17. Or you could do 2 like me. And there's very little spring tension on this, and it's going to give us a lot of rebound. So to reduce rebound now, these actually have the dampener piece on the top up here, which you can adjust right here by turning that, and it's going to dampen and it's going to stiffen and soften your rebound. So the rebound already is pretty soft, so we're probably going to need to turn that a little bit to get it stiffer in the back, but that's okay. Let's go ahead, toss these in, and see how low this car is actually going to sit once we're all done. We're going to put our rear sway bar back on to where we had it, which was in our second hole right there. And this car is probably going to feel amazing after this. We're going to put our rear control arms in later on this week, and we're going to pull our camber back out. We're going to get new rotors and pads probably pretty soon when we put the hydro on. But overall, guys, this coilover install is going very simple and very fast. Okay, so super simple install, guys. Everything is back together. Rear sway bar is back on, all tightened up. Coilovers are in, all tightened up. These things are actually a little loose, so we might actually put some more preload on these things. But everything's on, front's on, rear's on, everything's good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead, lower it down, and see what it looks like. I'm excited. Hopefully it's low. Okay, so Connor doesn't think that the Turdbucket V2 is gonna be low, but I think it's gonna be pretty low. So go ahead, let's see what this thing looks like. If it's perfect first time, it's good. I'm gonna like it. We're gonna see. Oh, front needs to go down. The whole car needs to go down.
What did I say?
It needs to be lower. It needs to be lower. It's a little bit lower though, guys, but I want it to be pretty low. So it looks like we're gonna have to take the wheels back off, and we're gonna have to turn the coilovers down more. to get it to sit the way I want it to. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay guys, so we're gonna put it on the ground now and we're gonna see how low it actually is. I hope it's pretty low because I want to be tire the fender there. I want to have to roll my fenders in the front. But let's see. Should be going down. Yeah, that front's low. The front's low. The back is still up. What the heck? You need to do something about that back. That back needs to come down more. What do you think?
I have no idea.
Yeah. But let's go ahead and take it for a drive, I guess, now and see what it does. Maybe after, oh, it's probably got to, is it soft in the back?
Yeah.
Maybe it's got to settle down a little bit in the back so that it actually can do what it needs to do. But we'll probably have to adjust the preload too in the back. So let's go ahead and take it for a drive real quick. Okay, so now that the coilovers are in, we're going to go ahead and take a drive and we're going to do a slalom again and see how it feels. Should feel a lot better now. It does feel a lot better now. Feels nice and stiff the way it should. The slalom proved it there, so now the car sits the way it should. Needs a little bit more adjusting because I want it to sit a little bit lower, but overall, great coilovers and they ride good. I mean, can't complain about that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go back into the back of the car. I'm gonna loosen all the control arms in the front and in the back. I'm gonna let everything sit the way it's supposed to, and then I'm gonna re-tighten everything back up and then see how the car sits after that. And maybe put a little bit more preload in the back because it's a little soft right now after readjusting it. So we're gonna readjust it again and then we're gonna tighten everything back up. Okay guys, so the Miata is all done. It's the next day. Obviously, you guys can tell that. But the Miata is all done. These Maxpeedingrod coilovers are really nice for the bang for your buck. All this stuff is going to be in the description, like I said in the video. But they are really low. They get the car to sit right where it needs to go. Very sturdy, very stiff, and lots of adjustment, like I kept saying throughout the video. But the car looks amazing like this. I'm probably going to get a body kit for it so it's a little bit lower to the ground because, you know, Stance Boy, Slam Boy want it to be low. I'm going to get another set of wheels and tires too. I want 15s. I want pretty much the same setup that I had on my old Miata, which are Roto Grids Classics, and 15x9. I want to go all the way around. If I need to put a spacer on the front, that's fine by me, whatever. But this thing is all set and done and ready to rip. I can't wait to get it onto a track and finish up the last little things that we need to do to get it so that we can actually take it to a track, have some fun with it, and do what we need to do with it. But overall though, guys, nice car. Nice coilovers, best bang for your buck, and that's about it. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, comment, share, do all the good stuff, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Later.